Welcome, everyone, back to Around the Block, volume number 8. We are so happy to have you guys. And before we get started with introductions and all of our good stuff, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications bell so you never miss out on our Around the Block content. So, welcome back, Phil and Guilherme. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well.
All good.
Yeah. Got some interesting things going on in the market as always, but excited to talk about it and see what's going on with the FOMC today.
Yeah. Well, Gui, I know you live in Brazil, so how is the crypto market and scene, performing over there? Any cool news, anything going on?
Yeah, it's been crazy because a lot of Brazilian companies are getting into crypto, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we have like Nubank, which is a Brazilian digital bank, actually starting to do some transactions in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that thing is huge in Brazil because a lot of people actually are starting to know about crypto. Also, we have PicPay, which is another big company regarding like bank services and stuff, starting to do some crypto services. So yeah, it's been a lot of great news. The market in Brazil is like on fire because a lot of companies are looking to Brazil. We see like companies like crypto.com doing some sponsorships here. We have like Binance. Binance did sponsor the last football championship in Brazil, which was 4 months ago. So yeah, so a lot of things going on, and things are on fire. So, very interesting.
It's really great. I mean, it just goes to show, the US is not just the only ones getting into crypto, but it's going to be something that is mass adopted no matter what happens. So let's keep this roll going and, see how many more countries, states, everything, jump on board.
Yes, I think like in Brazil, we still have a lot of space to grow regarding crypto market. I think I saw research recently, and there are just a few people who actually invest in crypto, and most of them they don't really invest for the long term. They like just play with Bitcoin, Ethereum, like they don't do it seriously. So yeah, we have a lot of space to grow more knowledge and actually work more on crypto in Brazil. I see a lot of things coming in. So yeah, actually there's another exchange sponsoring Brazilian soccer team, which is Bitso. It's right now sponsoring São Paulo football team. So yeah, a lot of investments from crypto coming to Brazil. So I feel very excited because of that, and I hope a lot of more companies come to here.
Hopefully next year, me and Phillip can go visit you guys and watch the football game or soccer
I don't
game
know.
in
Yeah,
I
we
America.
want
know
to.
you
I,
call
I
that
want to. I
soccer,
want to
right?
go to Carnival.
Oh,
Great.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see a game too, but I want to go to for Carnival.
Yeah, get ready
yeah.
because it is in February, so you should get ready. It's gonna be very nice.
Okay, yeah, I'll start looking at tickets soon.
Sure,
I
sure.
agree.
You can stay. You can stay here. It's a very nice place. You're gonna love it.
It would be like catch Philip moving to Brazil. He's gonna go there and never want to come back. And then Philip, tell us a little bit about what's going on in the U.S. market.
A few different things. So recently there's been a lot of macro news that we've been covering. Today in particular is the FOMC meeting, or the Federal Open Market Committee. So that's when the Fed comes and announces whether they will be changing the federal interest rate. So the last interest rate hike they had was last month. It was 0.75%. And we actually covered that in one of our episodes. Within about a few minutes of that, there was rapid price action towards the downside. So typically with these expectations in rate hikes, um, tend to have a bearish impact on the market. And you're actually starting to see that a few days before, because leading up to this, we had a lot of really big gainers. I mean, even if you're looking at the 14-day charts, things are still in the green. One of the biggest gainers we had was Matic Polygon. It was up like 60%. It's down 21% in the past 7 days. Ethereum, and it was up about 40-50%. It's down 11% in the past days. But if you look at the 14-day, it's up 26% still. And with Bitcoin, although it's down 6% in the last 7 days, it's still up 5%. So a lot of these drop-offs have really happened in the last couple of days. And you're seeing it be pretty impactful on Bitcoin and Ethereum, but a lot of the more alternatives like Matic, as I was discussing, is down pretty major. And it'll be interesting to see whether they will continue to have the 0.75% hike like they did last month, or possibly a 1% hike, which would actually cause a lot more fear. So keep an eye out on that. There are some other things going on in the market as well that seem to be having an impact just on how people see the market in general, particularly the Voyager case. So we've been tracking that, how a lot of the CeFi lenders in America, Voyager, Celsius, and BlockFi, have recently either begun bankruptcy hearings or been bailed out by FTX and company. Voyager actually was supposed to get bailed out, but apparently they rejected a deal from FTX, which would have actually given customers immediate access to their liquidity. So it's kind of, I don't know how I would feel, because if I was a customer, I would kind of like to just get my stuff out as quickly as possible. And this is a way for them to do that. However, I believe it will affect the company in a more negative way as opposed to the process they're going through with the bankruptcy hearings. So, I'm a bit disappointed that they aren't prioritizing the customers, especially after everything that's happened. I know a couple of people who have funds in Celsius and Voyager, and it's just been a mess, something they just kind of want to put behind them. So the fact that they think they can come back from this or somehow deserving of any, I don't know, grace other than giving customers back their money is just kind of sad, to be honest. But what do you think? Would you want to get your money back now, or they're saying potentially down the line they might be able to, I don't know, get the whole thing back, but given how it's gone so far, I don't really like it. I remember we went over the plan. Actually, it was in VGX tokens along with cash, along with some other crypto, I believe. But what would you prefer? Would you prefer to get out now with what you have, or risk leaving it in there and possibly getting more?
Honestly, because I'm bullish long term in terms of just crypto in general, I do think that they may not be able to make it right now, but they have the possibility, if they really, get a good strategy in, get the right people to work with them, and do things the right way this time, that they could come back stronger than before. We're
You think people would deposit with them after that?
I don't know if I would after. It would take a lot of trust building, a lot of, circle exercises, but
that's what I'm saying. It's like fool me once, shame on me, or shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. So I don't know if I everyone I've spoken to, isn't going to do that. And I know Celsius isn't actually planning on doing that. We'll touch on that later, but you would. So what would they have to do for you to get, customer trust back, do you think, Jasmin? Because that's asking a lot given, what they've been through so far.
It is, but I am a really big believer that the only way we can learn is by failing. And through failure, we can learn, come back stronger. And if we do things the right way, we can make things better. So, there's a chance that they could come back and do things very transparently, very openly. And I do believe that some regulations will be put in place in the near future for cryptocurrencies, and, alike. So I know that, companies that want to do things the right way will be following by those regulations. They'll be openly and transparent. I mean, the whole point of crypto is that we're supposed to be able to be transparent, right? We can see what everyone is doing, although we may not know who blockchain wallet number 88 is, right? We know that somebody with that name has purchased X amount of Bitcoin, right, on this blockchain and this time and this day, and then they sold it again. So the whole point is to be transparent. And I think they have a shot. I don't think that I don't know. I think it is a long shot. I do. But
I think it's a very long shot as well. And you're starting to see, as we discussed, while these centralized lenders, and I understand, I guess the fact that they're dealing in crypto, but this was a publicly traded company. Like, you're supposed to be as open and transparent as you can possibly be. Like, once you become public, you're pretty much open to all the scrutiny that all these like DeFi protocols aren't. And I think it gives a lot of credence to how they perform, because as we discussed before, they liquidated and performed, everything, all operations as necessary, and aren't experiencing problems, aren't having insolvency issues, are running fine. Whereas all of the centralized lenders who were publicly traded or looking, I know Celsius was looking to do an IPO, ones that were supposed to be more of the traditional style and more open, failed. But, I guess that's really what you get with a lot of actors entering this space. But like you said, I totally agree. We got to learn from it, and hopefully we get lenders that make it as convenient as they did, but are responsible with their depositors' funds. So moving forward, something as good could rise from the ashes. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But one other thing in the news that really caught my eye recently was so the SEC made a claim against Coinbase that 9 of their crypto assets are securities. This was actually following a lawsuit by the Department of Justice against former Coinbase listing employees who were inside trading these random tokens. Some of them were like Ampleforth, Rally, XYO, the Rory Governance Token, LCX, like things that you really hadn't heard of. And I think they only made like 1.5 million. And in a separate filing, the SEC, I guess, hopped on board and decided to take advantage and be like, yeah, also these tokens that they were trading, they were securities. So apparently there's a probe by the SEC into Coinbase right now as to whether they are selling unregistered securities and if they need to register as a securities platform. And this immediately impacted the stock price. Not that we're stock traders, but I think it went down like 16%, which is like major for a stock apparently. But it's kind of scary. I don't know. That the SEC is looking into the largest and really like the most well-known exchange here in America and a lot of places, outside of Binance. So I guess what do you guys think? Do you think the SEC is going to have an effect on this? They have that case with XRP, and I don't know what that effect that has really had on it besides the initial kind of scare. It still seems to be, just kind of doing its thing, even with these legal troubles. So, do you guys think this SEC issue will create problems? Do you think it has legs? What are your opinions?
Yeah, I don't know. With you being in Brazil, do you have any opinions on this, on what's going on with our crazy market and government over here?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think it's going like anywhere. Like I think it's just a normal issue that happens in some a few exchanges. But I don't know, maybe because I'm from Brazil, but I don't see a lot of trouble in there, you know. Maybe
Yeah,
because I'm from Brazil.
I hear that. And honestly, I feel like it might not be that big of an issue.
Yeah,
I think it might be end up being a slap on the wrist. Like it's really absurd that what they do is they regulate by enforcement rather than create rules for people to follow. So like once someone breaks a rule, it's like they didn't even know they broke that rule. It's just all of a sudden the SEC is bringing an action against them. So like, how do you know how to play the game if you don't know the rules or the rules are
exactly.
changing?
Yeah.
So it's a bit annoying. I know there is an executive order by President Biden for the some of the main branches of the different financial branches such as the SEC, the CFTC. To be honest, those are the only two I know
All
off
of
the
the
top of my head. But
ABCs.
they want a multi agency approach to regulating crypto rather than just the SEC or just the CFTC because just as strongly as Gary Gensler is trying to get the SEC to get these exchanges to register cryptos as securities, the CFTC, which does the same but with commodities, is trying to get crypto registered as commodities. Now, that would actually be better for the industry just because the regulations around commodities tend to be a bit looser than securities as far as, for a variety of reasons. But
Yeah.
also, they've been much friendlier towards crypto than Gary Gensler has. So I'm interested to see who, in the end, determines what the rules are. And it'd be nice to know them so we can implement them and avoid things like we've had with Celsius, with Voyager, and really have that clarity that we're looking for, particularly on that back end with the deposits. But
Right.
yeah,
Well, with the SEC, I feel like they are always going to try to, find some reason to go against anything crypto, okay. The federal government, the financial world, Wall Street, like they don't want crypto to do well, right? It's kind of like
I
they're
mean,
complaining.
the banks don't. Wall Street is all about crypto. Wall Street's a
Right.
big fan of crypto. But yeah, I could see the traditional financial system.
Right, the traditional
Mm-hmm.
financial, system, they don't want this. They want things to go back to, the US dollar being the strongest one, making a financial or a digital US dollar. And so I don't think that it's going to do much. Like you said, it might just be like a slap on the wrist and just a way to maybe create fear and FUD, like you said, it's one of the largest changes here. So they're their attack right on it is kind of a way for them to be like, oh well, we're powerful enough to do this, and now you guys should be scared to use this. When we all know that all centralized exchanges have different things that they have to go by, but that doesn't mean we should be not using them or scared to use them. Maybe we should be careful on which ones we use, but I just think it's a little bit overboard and a little dramatic on their part. But I know that right now I saw a tweet actually a few days ago and by Shibatoshi Nakamoto on Twitter. He says, seems like during crypto winters, people actually finally start to understand what crypto is. Laughing emoji. I enjoy all of these realizations that keep coming out that are basic knowledge. Bitcoin is actually easy to track. Sure is. Exchanges are centralized and not safe. Yeah, duh. So I thought that was funny. And I'm like, yeah. So we're all learning.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
wrong.
I actually wanted to ask you guys because I don't know a lot about regulation of crypto in the US. In Brazil, we still have a lot to improve, a lot to implement because it's still something very new in Brazil. Really, like we don't have a lot of regulations. But it seems like with Celsius stuff and like other things going on, it seems like regulation in the US about crypto is getting more and more serious. Like, um, but which is very different from Brazil, for example. So I'd like to know from you guys, like how developed is this thing right now, or do you think there's a lot of space to actually get better, like get more clear to know what actually is right or wrong in the crypto world? Like,
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And it's not very clear, to be honest. The only thing that like I'm pretty clear on is, and this is still up in the air, are the tax laws. If you hold it for longer than a year, you are charged, you're taxed at the short-term capital gains rate. If
even
you,
though you didn't sell it.
no, sorry, if you buy it and sell it
Okay, okay,
under a year, you're charged long term. If you buy and hold it and then sell it for longer than a year, then you're charged the short term. So a year
okay.
is really the mark that like determines what kind of rate, and that could be pretty significant. And then with derivatives, it's slightly better, a bit more confusing, but I believe it's 60% is charged at the short term um, rate and 40% charged at long term, or some split percentage like that, since it's you know, perp contracts and stuff like that. But other than that, it's really the regulations around how these companies like engage and what they have to disclose. The SEC and regulators in general tend to lord this sense of we need to protect the consumers. That's the rationale behind what they deem as necessary, according to whatever regulation or legislation they see fit. But clearly, they're really not doing too much to protect people. If you're having this much contagion within companies that were, traded publicly and like really open and transparent, then
Yeah.
it's kind of scary. It's really not having the effect that they want if they're really trying to protect people. So
Mm,
it's weird that it's like they're using that excuse, but we're not really like seeing any protection. The only thing we're seeing are these actions against these exchanges, and who knows, maybe down the line, like those might prove to be like um, uh, strange assets, because they are risky, random coins. Like they're not great coins with a
yeah.
ton of trading volume. Like I said, they're kind of no-name coins, and I think that might be kind of the issue that they're having. Whereas Coinbase tended to be conservative with their listings, now it seems like they, put up anything that has at least $1 million market cap. But it's ineffective at the end of the day. Whatever they're trying to do, it's I could definitely see room for improvement.
Actually,
And
I saw something like 90% of the coins are like rubbish. Like they don't mean anything. They don't have like future. So it's, yeah.
yeah, no, it's absolutely wild, to be honest. Just the stuff that they've been listing, but that's, I don't know. It's like I can kind of see their point, but at the end of the day, like there hasn't been like a big issue of people like losing their shirts on funny stuff. Cases here and there, but like there hasn't been like I don't know, black swan event that has really like cleared people out.
Right, but speaking about altcoins, what are the top altcoin gainers right now?
Really none, to be honest. We had a lot of gains in the beginning, but as I talked about before, we basically lost all of those gains leading into the week. So on the 7-day, it's really not looking good. On the 14-day, Matic, like I said, is still up about 32%. Polkadot, Polkadot's way down, sorry. Solana's up about 6%. Anything that really gained a lot leading up lost a lot of it, and the further it was out on the curve, like Near, for example, lost 10%, but it's still up about 14%. So it's really going to be interesting to see the price action after this interest rate announcement, because I think that's what a lot of people are preparing for. It's kind of a like buy the rumor, sell the news event. In this case, it might be a sell the rumor, buy the news event, to be honest, because nothing makes people more fearful than not knowing what's going to happen. So I think like just knowing what they're going to be doing going forward, once that number's announced, it'll provide some clarity and allow people to possibly get back in the market. But we really don't have any gainers. Like it's some random low caps.
Winter is still there, right?
Oh man, we're freezing up here. But
if you can actually believe it, so Celsius is the top gainer over the last 7 days at a 13%.
Not see that one coming.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's been an interesting kind of meme energy behind Celsius. There was like a short squeeze that happened, the short squeeze campaign all over crypto Twitter. So it's up 31% in 14 days, 7% in 13 days, and I mentioned them earlier as another company that went under as a lender, and it appears that their plan to really get back into the game is to rely on their mining. And now, if you took a look at the documents of their plan to basically mine all of these losses back, it's a bit ridiculous. I mean, first of all, their balance sheet was way off, which we discussed as far as the value of the Celsius tokens they had on there. So, it seems like there's even a larger hole in their balance sheet than we discussed last week. But they have to, assume a whole bunch of numbers and prices and hope that their miners, don't go obsolete because the, difficulty level changes. So, right now, they're going from a lending company to a mining company in an effort to, I guess, repay people and then continue on as just a mining business, I guess. I'm not sure what else their future plans are, but that's, I guess that's what's behind the Celsius pump. Everything else is, things really no one's heard of.
I mean, I've seen that Chainlink has been performing very negatively as well in the past few days. And I don't know, I feel like Chainlink out of a lot of, altcoins should be performing pretty well based on what Chainlink is and what it does for the crypto world. But it could just be just me. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think you need to throw logic out when you're looking at this market and just go with the meme energy and the flow. No, I'm just kidding. Chainlink is an integral part. Jasmin, do you want to explain what they do and why they're such an important part of crypto?
Yeah, just give me 1 second here. I actually have to take care of really quick. But in the meantime, I'll get back to that in just a second here.
Okay. No, I can cover it real quick. So what they do is they provide what are called oracles now. Oracles are things that are used to bring off-chain data. So say like weather, the weather numbers, things that aren't on the blockchain and bring it on-chain. So like a lot of different protocols integrate Chainlink to have a real-time off-chain data on-chain. And it's usually financial data, obviously, given a lot of what happens in crypto is financial. But I know they do have a partnership with the Weather Channel, which is one of the first integrations outside of crypto I heard of. So it's interesting they have.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they get that. I forget exactly what the use case was a while ago, but they use some sort of Chainlink oracle to get.
I think they get like a lot of data from the outside world, like from the blockchain world, which is also like, for example, we have sports. So the results of a match is going to be in the blockchain through Chainlink, right?
Exactly. Yep. So they bring all this random stuff that's in the real world on chain.
That is very, very cool.
Apparently it's very easy to integrate. And if you go to their site, you can see all of the things that they're integrated with. It's just a ton of different things. So when Jasmin says, they do a lot and they're really a big part of crypto, they are. But unfortunately, the things that function the best usually are underappreciated. They're kind of seen as boring and don't have, the pumpamentals or the meme energy that other things do. But I mean, I think it's more focused, like as far as the volatility, particularly right now, more of the like DeFi ecosystem coins, particularly with the ETH merger coming up. That's why, like, leading up until this week, we had like Solana really going off, Polkadot, Near, Avalanche, all of them were rallying. Phantom also in particular is rising from the dead, another really big DeFi platform. It's up actually 20% in 14 days and only down about 1% in the last 7 days, but 9% in the last 24 hours. So it kind of shows that fear factor of the FOMC meeting today coming in. But that, yeah, that narrative is really strong right now, and people are really excited for, I guess, some sort of bullish narrative or anything really to look forward to, and the upcoming merge, especially given the date that was announced last week, is something that people can cling on to during this little bear market we're in.
Yeah, you're talking about the how boring it can be. So it's like Chainlink. It's is very useful for the blockchain system, but it's like it is not as cool as ApeCoin, for example. So that's
Mhm.
why people are not interested, right? Because there's no like hype towards the coin. So that's something that I see a lot of times.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah, very useful, but just not like anything to meme about. And that's the
yeah.
thing people don't understand. A lot of like, how do you think Dogecoin and Shiba Inu got into the top 10, top 15 coins? Like it's there's the study of memetics. That's actually what
Yeah,
what
yeah.
what memes are. It's actually there's a study behind it, and yeah, it's basically kind of the cultural impact of like images. To
Like,
say so much in just like a picture.
but I'm gonna tell you something. I used to not like Shiba Coin or like Dogecoin because they are like they don't have any utility in the blockchain system. But it's very interesting because of like Elon Musk or famous people who actually like it. The community towards the coin is getting so strong that sometimes I look at that and say, hey, maybe there's something in there. Maybe that's getting interesting now. Even though I know that in the beginning the coin didn't make any sense. So because of the people who are involved, things are getting quite interesting. I think I was here 2 weeks ago in the show, and we were talking about, I think it was Shiba Coin is going to launch their own stable coin. So I see that and I go like, man, it's actually happening. They're getting like more important. So
Shiba's kind of interesting. I mean,
yeah,
they have their own decks. They kind of have like they have some things going on with their ecosystem that they're building on that isn't like is actually providing some sort of utility. Interestingly enough, and it still amazes me how quickly it got listed on all the major exchanges. I don't know if they like just had someone who knew someone or like they everyone just recognized the meme energy of it, but it was impressive when it came onto the scene. And Yeah, Dogecoin. I mean, Elon. Tesla actually sold 75% of the Bitcoin on its balance sheet, which came out to about $900 million. Excuse me. They sold it at a bit of a loss, apparently, which goes to show how desperately they needed that liquidity. But they didn't sell any Dogecoin, so it really goes to show the strength of that community. That even though they are that deep, um, that they need cash that bad that they would sell that much Bitcoin. The number one, the one that's supposed to be like the the, the golden child, and kept Dogecoin. It really shows the strength or possible stupidity of Elon Musk. But time will tell. It could easily get back to where it was and could be doing the same thing, or could have a as robust of a ecosystem as Shiba is, with someone really getting behind there and developing, DEX or DeFi. To be honest, I don't know what's on Dogecoin or what it does besides look cute. But if enough people take it seriously, that stuff can really turn into a legitimate project. And the longer things are around, the less likely it is they're going to go away. Like it's, we still have like Ethereum Classic and like Bitcoin Cash and like all this stuff in the top 25. So like even if it's useless, it still kind of stays around and still has its pumps. You even saw that with Ethereum Classic, along with Ethereum Classic actually pumped even more as of it. I want to say 80% at one point, and like I don't even know what's on Ethereum. I don't think anything's on Ethereum Classic. I think it's really just something to trade. So it really kind of shows, what a community who's invested. And I feel like being invested in something emotionally is cool, but being invested in something financially really gets you invested in it. So that community is even more stronger or even more into it because they have this financial investment along with maybe some sort of emotional attachment to, I don't know, Shiba Inu or just cute animals in general.
Which is crazy because as far as I know, Shiba was supposed to be like just a copy of Dogecoin. Like, like there's no other idea behind this. It's just a copy of Dogecoin because it was such a success. And it's crazy to see that, as you said, Ethereum Classic has been getting some hikes like crazily over the last days. So it's very interesting. The crypto world is quite interesting because
exactly. That's why I said you need to kind of throw logic out the window
Right.
sometimes, or like typical valuation methods. And it's interesting because if you do apply some traditional valuation methods, like what is it? Man, I'm drawing a blank right now. But it's like it's revenue per market cap or revenue over market cap. Like the amount of revenue they make, these protocols generate, is mind blowing. And they're actually talking about how Uniswap, even though it doesn't generate as much revenue as Coinbase, because Coinbase, its pricing structure is more expensive, it does almost as much volume and has done as much, like more volume than Coinbase on a given day. Uniswap is the number one decentralized exchange on Ethereum. So it just goes to show, that these protocols are starting to be able to keep up and have similar numbers and adoption rates as these established centralized exchanges, which I think is a testament to how far things have come.
Right. And so, with you guys talking about Ethereum, Bitcoin, Shiba, Doge, Guy, what is going on with Ethereum thinking that they can take over Bitcoin? Is that true?
Yeah. So you're talking about the merge or just the price going up a little bit in the last few days?
Tell us everything you know. I want to know.
So first, that's very interesting. So first, I'm just gonna show you some chart. Let's go to the chart and see some interesting price movements. I'm gonna share my vector. Just a second.
Yeah, I know the ETH Bitcoin ratio has been decreasing lately. That's basically how much ETH you have to pay for a Bitcoin. So the less ETH you have to pay, the more it's catching up on Bitcoin relative in price. So it's something interesting to keep track of. But back to you, Gil.
All right, no, sure. So just before I explain about some Ethereum prices, something very interesting in Vector platform is that, as you can see in the right side of my screen, we have a cryptocurrency ranking, which shows us which are the greatest variations of the day. For example, we were just saying about that today. We have very few coins actually getting going up today. Like we have like out of all of them, we get like 8 performing well today. And by the way, Ethereum Classic is number 4. It's today we have 3% of high. But anyways, it's some things that, and right here below we also have the biggest downs. So you have like Uniswap going 9% down, and all Ethereum actually getting 3.94%. So it's a very quick view that I do every day. Like I just gonna close through so I can show how I use it.
And that's over the past day, Gil.
Yes, and also if you want, so if you click here, I'm actually looking at the variation during the last day, but I can change into a week, month, 3 months, or any custom date that I would like to actually see. So, for example, if I put 1 week, it's gonna show we had like nothing going up in the last week, so it's all in the downside of my screen. But
All of the things in green are stable coins. You never want to see that. It's
yeah,
just stable
yeah,
coins in green.
that reminds me of something like Terra for anyways.
Yeah.
but but yeah, so you can actually see not only daily variation but also weekly, monthly, and yearly, and anyways and so on. And
Would you be
also,
able to do something real quick,
sure,
Gil?
yes,
Could you do the 2 week? Yeah, because I know you can do the custom thing.
let me
What
let
is
me
there?
so
I think
time
properties.
let me check. No, I think it was supposed to be here,
Okay.
but because wait. Yeah, no, I think it's like it's custom, but I don't know why I just have these options here right now.
Okay.
Um,
No, but
Maybe
obviously.
because it's an employee license, so I don't have all the.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
joking,
No.
just joking. But
Yeah. But you can change
did
the
you want to see
reference
anything
date.
else?
No, it looks like you can change the reference date though, and yeah. So I got you. I got you. That's cool. That's
Yeah, like
cool.
yeah. For example, 1 month we now we have a few
There we go. Yeah,
coins.
I was gonna say because it's really things have been going well until this week, and it's really a lot of made safe coin. What is that? Anyway, we
I
really
have no
had a lot
idea.
of gains going up until yeah, and then we have made safe coin leading the way at 82%.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's really useful.
Yeah, we have here Ethereum, which has been, as Jasmine just said, has getting a lot of attention because Ethereum went from $1,000 and actually got into $1,500 in like pretty much a week. So it's been in the last month, it's been 29% of high on Ethereum, not Ethereum Classic, just the regular Ethereum, which is, as you can see, one of the few coins that has been getting good performance in the last 30 days. We also have Ethereum Classic and Sushi Swap and all that kind of stuff, but I like to see like two different areas. These are the top hikes or lows of the day, and here in the market cap I see the most important coins and their variation. So by the order of importance, Bitcoin, Ethereum, USD, XRP, and so on. So those are the coins that we actually have to pay attention to because they are I can actually put here, if you like, I can click with my right button of the mouse, and I can put dominance and also market value. Okay, click OK. Yeah, so now we can see. Let me explain better. Which coin has the biggest dominance in the crypto world? Which coin is by far the greatest, and also their market value just just here. So yeah, I also like to every day at least one time in the morning see how the most important coins are performing. And so Jasmine was asking me about Ethereum. I have, I think I in the last time I was here, I was explaining about a strategy that I use. Today I'm gonna come up with something different, which is much more simple. This is what this looks like. I'm going to set up from the beginning, so you guys and everyone who's watching can actually do in their vector. I'm going to use again just moving average, but this time I'm going to use actually the exponential moving average, because the other one I was using was the simple, just the simple one. So I click in any point of the chart with the right button of the mouse and go to insert, uh, pardon, add indicator. Okay. As you guys know, here we have the most important ones. I'm going to use the moving average, which is a trend indicator. Here we have a quick explanation of how it works. And now I'm going to use two different moving average, the 9-day moving average, click OK, and also the 34-day moving average, which 34-day it's a little bit more than 1 month. Click OK, and then OK again. First time you're gonna see this as the same color, so it gets a little bit confusing, but don't worry, you can actually find them here. So when I put my mouse just above this, it is gonna show me which one is the 34-day moving average, and here which one is the 9-day moving average. To make things a little bit easier and more clear, I'm going to change the color of the 34 moving average. So you can change here, but I like to explain the most complete version, which is you click here with your mouse, moving average properties. As I said, I'm going to change into the exponential one, and I actually put the red color so you guys can know the difference between each one. And now I'm going to do the same to the 9-day moving average, which is changing into the exponential one. Basically, the only difference between exponential moving average, which is widely used in the crypto market, to the simple one, is that the exponential moving average gives more weight to the last recent days. So you're gonna see the moving average, it's much more close to the current price. So that's the only difference. But when you use like too many moving average, you don't see like a lot of difference, but that is what it means. How do I identify a trend? Because 9-day moving average is more like short period than 34, when it goes cross down to the 34 moving average, it means we are actually getting a bear market. Okay. And as is happening right now, when the 9-day moving average is going up above the 34-day moving average, we can see the beginning of a bull market. That is basically what it means. I have put here a circle so you guys can see when this bear market has started, which was around 3 or 2 months ago, and we got like 58% decrease on Ethereum value. But I don't rely in just looking at this average. As I said before, we have to study and see a lot of like different indicators. So one tip that I can give you is if you want to be more accurate, you can just come here in the 9-day moving average. I think I already explained about this before, but insert paint bar and 2MV media. By the way, media in Portuguese means average. Now we can see that sometimes the moving average is going to get red and sometimes green. That is another indicator of the trend. So as we can see here, I have to see two things. First, the moving average above the 34 one, and it has to be green, so I can see that it's probably a bull trend starting. as I said before many times, don't just trust me. You can go backwards. You can actually see how much this works. Do some tests and so on. Like, of course, it doesn't work all the time. There are times when you're gonna have some losses, which is pretty normal. But overall, I have seen a lot of strategies. This one, which is the third that I bring here, is a very good one for trades if you don't want to be like day trader. You don't want to be like the whole day um, looking at the chart. You just want to buy and wait for a few days or few weeks. So it's a very good strategy if you want to have some trades during days or weeks. So that is my tip, my strategy for today. Um, Definitely, I can see some high on Ethereum, which brings me to another topic that we can discuss right now. And I would love to know what you guys think about it, which is the merge on Ethereum. There's been a lot of talking, and so I'm actually gonna um, interrupt my vector sharing. All right. So I would love to hear from you guys what you guys think. There's been a lot of news regarding. I think it's supposed to be on September, the merge. Supposed to bring some great futures to Ethereum, but there's also a lot of people who don't know what's gonna be. It's gonna be safe or not. It's gonna be good. So I'd love to know what you guys think. If you heard a lot of about it, what you guys are thinking. Is gonna be something good for the community of Ethereum or not?
I think it's going to be a good thing. We see a lot of excitement coming from all of the teams here and community that Ethereum already has. There is some claims that some people believe that Ethereum could take Bitcoin's place as, like, a reigning crypto queen. Um, but I just don't think that anyone can take the crypto mother's place. Crypto was born through Bitcoin, and I just don't believe that anyone can overtake her throne. So, what do you think, Phillip?
Well, I think they're two different value prospects. So Bitcoin is a hard money system, peer to peer cash transfer or value of transfer via data. Ethereum is a basically a computer that you build programs on. So really, it depends on what people are going to find more valuable going forward. While you could see how businesses and a lot of large scale corporations would benefit from just the transfer, and even like we like to think of these things in American terms, but in a lot of countries, remittance payments and really having access to banking, having a way to store your value is something that we take for granted that a lot of places don't have. So that's something that a lot of people really value about Bitcoin, that they're able to hold this hard asset that has value, is very liquid, is can't really be confiscated or censored, and is somewhat pseudonymous. I think is very attractive to a lot of people on the planet. At the same time, you could see how things like DeFi that were created on Ethereum and smart contract capability really brought crypto to the mainstream. Because I think if it was just Bitcoin, like, it wouldn't have gotten to this point. I mean, NFTs, for example, like, brought in a entirely new sector of people who never would have gone near crypto, including more creative people and people who are in other functions besides finance. So I think culturally, Ethereum is more important, but like you said, Bitcoin, it's the oldest one. It's never been hacked. It's the most trustworthy. I don't think the flippening narrative is real. That's what it's called on crypto Twitter, that Ethereum's going to flip Bitcoin and market cap. But even here, Vitalik Buterin, like, he's not really like trying to do that. That's not the goal. And the merge itself, I think, is going definitely to kind of separate them even more, given that it's going to be the point at which it goes from a proof of work blockchain to a proof of stake blockchain. I think that will definitely be bullish in terms of the ESG crowd, which has been a very popular narrative as far as the amount of energy that Bitcoin and other forms of crypto mining use. It's a bit of a turnoff. It was the first reason Elon used to dump Bitcoin, or kind of to bring in a mini bear market, literally with just that statement. So I think that will help get a lot of more people on board that were worried about the environmental impact of it. And then it's also I don't think it's going to do everything. There's also something down the line called the Beacon Chain that I believe is at no, actually, sorry, I believe the Beacon Chain is the merge. And then there's one more event after that does something that'll actually help process transactions better. The sharding, once it starts sharding, which is I don't want to get too technical. It basically makes things go faster, but that's a complaint of Ethereum that, like, during like NFT sales or like big drops, like the network will just like go crazy, gas will spike, and
right,
madness will happen. Sharding is something that kind of splits up the data a bit more and allows it to be more easily accessible by all parties. So I think that's something that will make a big difference as well. But also the yield on Ethereum, and then the fact that people can, redeem their Ethereum from, if they want. They can redeem their Steth from, Lido, which is a Ethereum staking platform that gives you a derivative of Ethereum called Steth in exchange for staking with them. But I think it'll also create demand for it because of that stake yield people will get. Now, there's more incentive for people not only to use it for gas, but also to just generate a yield from being a validator on the network and collecting fees that way. So I think it'll be a great transition if everything goes as it's supposed to. And, that's always a huge question mark in crypto. But I believe that if there's a team that can deliver on time, it's the Ethereum team, the Ethereum Foundation. But I wouldn't be surprised if, they did a Charles Hoskinson and pushed it back. But hopefully it won't won't be as dysfunctional as Cardano is. But I think it'll be
Hopefully.
a good thing. Hopefully.
right. We can only hope.
Yeah.
But kind of to close us off for today's episode, especially Bitcoin, it's been a tough year for Bitcoin. After hitting an all-time high of around 68,000, in November 2021, it's down 1/3 of that value. And we can only, guess and try to predict where it's going to go from here. But we long-term, investors and us that are bullish long-term here, we see something in the future for crypto. We see the future in Bitcoin. And a lot of celebrities and analysts have kind of said the same thing. We have Kevin O'Leary, Edward Snowden, Snoop Dogg, and Mike Tyson. They're all encouraging investors to remain strong, brace yourself for the crypto winter, and just, invest as you can. Take this as the opportunity to make investments that you maybe wouldn't have been able to make prior, because the market will correct itself eventually. We just all have to hold on till we're there. And a survey from Voyager Digital shows that about 64% of Americans believe that crypto will regain value in the rest of 2022, and 37% saying that it's moderately or very likely they will purchase cryptocurrency this year. So we're still here. Yeah, from Voyager Digital.
I'm surprised people are answering their questionnaires.
I know. I saw that and I was like, interesting. I wonder what the actual number of responses was. But I completely agree with, those responses. I think that we have to brace ourselves. We got to stay strong, and eventually us who stay here will be ready for when the market corrects itself again. And Amazon, it once went through, really, really bad corrections. And I mean, look at Jeff Bezos on his yacht now without a care in the world. So I think we're all going to be on yachts eventually.
Yeah, hopefully we won't make another Jeff Bezos, but hopefully, I think that's the idea of crypto, really, to not have another Jeff Bezos. We will, but like at least it'll be transparent and we'll know. And I think that's what's great about crypto and the ethos of it. It's democratizing, financial markets and making what was once opaque and inaccessible to the masses, accessible to everyone. And I'd really encourage everyone to take the time during this bear market to really just take a look at what these assets are, what the technology is, and understand what the things that move it are, because it's only going to grow, become more of an integrated part of our life. People are, integrating blockchain in other ways besides just cryptocurrencies. NFTs are an example. They're not technically cryptocurrencies; they're just non-fungible tokens. But you know, just understanding the space will help you make better and more confident decisions in the future, and really allow you to have that conviction to stay in the market and make smart decisions. First of all, we keep saying this: you never want to invest more than you can afford to lose, because the worst thing you could do is just lose everything, go to zero, and then never come back again. We don't want that. We want people to make mistakes. They're going to make mistakes, and that needs to be expected. It's not always going to be up only all the time, and that's part of the learning process. So the more you can learn now, when things are kind of in hard mode, the easier things will be once we're back in the bull market and it's easy money for everyone. You'll know where the easiest yields are. You'll know, what is likely to pump more than, what the typical pumps are, compared to Bitcoin, for example. And yeah, I mean, we just went through the worst quarter in Bitcoin's history, this Q2, and it's coming up on a potential recession as well. So it's really, ugly right now, and that shouldn't be seen as a bad thing. It should be seen as a learning opportunity and an eventual buying opportunity once we start seeing strength back in the market. So it's it's great. Think of this as a time where you're buying it at levels you never thought you could. When it was at 60,000 and like 70,000, people were like, "Oh, it's too expensive." Think of this as a time when you can smartly get a bid in under 30,000, under 40,000, because it's a good chance it'll make it at least back to its all-time high, and if not, who knows where it'll go down the line. So just looking at it from first principles, it's only getting bigger. There's only more people adopting it, and it's really more I think macro factors affecting it right now rather than the actual technology, because everything's only growing and getting better in the actual crypto itself.
I mean, we're in the future. This is just the start. I'm super excited, very confident in seeing where we're all going to be, in a few years from now. And us hodlers, us long-term investors, even our short-term investors, we're going to be on the dark side, and everyone else will be just over there. But with what Phil said, we have some really great tools for you guys to use on the Vector platform. That's what it's there for. Use it to learn, use it to study, the market. Use the tools that Guilherme comes on here and shows you every week. Really get in depth and, play around with the simulator account. Start, learning how to make trades. So that way, when the time comes, you'll be ready. And I mean, as you've seen, he has made plenty of profits even in this bear market. So it's completely possible. It's doable. We have a 15-day free trial for you guys of the Vector Pro platform. So check it out in the description box below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and again, turn your notifications on so you'll never miss our content. And let us know what you guys think in the comments. See you next time. Thank you guys for joining us, and stay on the dark side.
Thank you, guys. See you soon.
Take care. Be safe, everyone.